Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to share that next week we've got something very special planned. It's Be Magnetic Week. It's actually the week of my birthday, so every day next week I'm going to be sharing one of our most loved and downloaded manifesting episodes, so you can dial up your conscious creator energy and have the life and business you desire, even if you're an overthinker like me. Starting Monday, going right through to next Sunday, there's going to be an episode every day that will help you be more magnetic in your life and in your business. So tune in on Monday, and if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button so you get each episode downloading straight into your favourite podcast app. And now let's dive into this week's show. This is Goals with Soul, the podcast for visionary coaches and entrepreneurs, building your business with inspired action, in alignment with your mission and authentic message, so you can create impact for your soul clients and feel lit up every day. I'm your host, Jo Ingram, married mum of 3 daughters from London and a former ad agency director turned business coach and strategist. In Goals with Soul, we blend revenue generation with energetics, marketing strategies with pranic healing, and ambitious business goals with our soul's desires. If you're looking to build your business with less efforting and more ease, this is the podcast for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to Goals with Soul. I'm Joanna Ingram, and today we're going to dive into what you're hiding that really is your superpower. And this one thing alone can completely transform your messaging and indeed your business. But before we dive into that, I'm going to apologise in case you can hear any crunching underfoot or birds singing, because I'm walking in the woods this morning. It's a gorgeous kind of autumn into winter day, and I am moving into a new season for myself in my life and of course my business, because the two are inextricably linked. I have been in a flow state for quite a while, which did border on the wounded feminine. And what I mean by that is I took the flow into a state of inaction. And I'm sure you know, if you listen to this, that the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine is what we really need to enable our lives and our businesses to flow with ease. And my own experience has been to come out of many, many years of the wounded masculine, the efforting, the striving, the pushing, the overproving. And as I moved into my business and went through burnout, I learned about the divine feminine and went through a period where the pendulum just swung back in the other direction, and really had to heal from the burnout and heal from all these years of pushing myself and feeling like I was unsupported, until I went into a period of immense ease in my business. And I learned so many of the tools and strategies that I share with you. But that doesn't mean that everything's hunky-dory and I never drift back. I think the reality is that we have to do the work in our lives. And of course it gets easier over time, but it doesn't mean that we can become complacent or forget what it is that really supports us. And for a little while, I've been in this state of flow recently and just kind of easing into a lot in my life, but actually not getting some things done that were really on my heart. I think I assumed that if I had to effort, then I really didn't want to do it, forgetting that when I was efforting into something that I adored, it was easy and it didn't feel like effort. It was just hard work, or working hard rather than hard work. And there is such a difference, isn't there, between producing an immense amount of stuff, but with ease, where time just completely collapses and a few hours pass in a blink of an eye because you're just enjoying what you're doing so darn much. And what I'm working on at the moment and is inspiring me so much is my new program that I'm launching in the new year, the Messaging Edge Elevator. And I'm going to dive into all the goodness that creates that authentic messaging for experienced and established coaches, for coaches who know that they have a next level to their messaging and yet they've been hiding it. And there's nothing worse than having a part of yourself hidden in your business. And sometimes we don't even realize that it is hidden. It comes out in a variety of symptoms. One such symptom for me was that I found myself working with unenergizing clients for a longer period of time than I would have expected, until I realized that clearly my messaging wasn't calling in those elevated avatars, those people that I was really meant to work with, the people that I was suited best to work with. And it's not a judgment. It's just a matching of energy to find those souls that match your vibration. And both of you get so much more out of that coaching experience. They get tremendous results because the energy is just elevated and flowing. And of course, you come out of every session, every group, every interaction with your energy way higher than you could imagine. And of course, that creates the ease in our business because when we're feeling energetic, we flow and all the things that might have been hard otherwise just suddenly get created with a new level of ease. Another symptom that often comes up is a stagnation period. It could show up as a plateau in income. I see that frequently with clients who are just wondering why they don't seem to be able to lift out of a particular income level, even though they've desired it, even though they work really hard. And it's often that there's a part of them they just haven't brought into their business. And what happens as a result of that is you just start feeling a lack of passion for your business, almost a detachment. And some coaches I speak to, and this has even cropped up for me too, is that feeling that I just want to burn it to the ground. Why am I doing this? This is so darn hard. Showing up every day, being visible, creating new things, finding new clients, onboarding them, creating that transformation, all the things that actually we adore suddenly become things that we lack that passion for. And you suddenly don't want to show up. You don't want to go live. You don't want to show up in whatever space online is your preferred place, or indeed push into those new areas of visibility, the speaking from the stage, the podcast guesting, the creation of a specific group that you had on your heart. And you have to ask yourself, why am I not showing up and doing these things? Why is it that my business is stagnating? My energy is lacking. My passion is dwindling. And this was something that I explored extensively, both from my own experience and from working with a multitude of clients who very similarly to me had experienced these things in their business. And because I've worked in marketing, advertising, media for the best part of 20 years, and because it's an area of such intense interest and passion for me, I explored this through the lens of brand messaging specifically. What I realized was that messaging is actually so much more than copy, so much more than content or what you say in an I am statement. Although all of those things are important, you have to start with the messaging that's from your soul. And that's really who you are in the world and specifically in your business, how you show up and what it is that you're here to share with others, what you're here to create in a transformation for them. And that message is the messaging. And that's why when you're hiding something, such a critical element of you, it can affect all of your business, all of the flow, the clients you attract, the money you attract, the energy and the passion that you feel. And this is why I talk often about the hidden coach. And she's hiding oftentimes because she doesn't even realize what it is within her that's ready to come out. And this happens very frequently in established coaches because you do the work. As a coach in our online industry, we are always striving to create more abundance in our lives, to see things in a new way, to overcome limiting beliefs, to engage with new ideas. We're lifelong learners. And because of this constant up level, it can feel that our messaging, our businesses, our offers actually require an evolution too. And yet we cling on to them oftentimes for far longer than we need to because, of course, we're fearing judgment from our peers or from our clients. We're fearing that we're showing up in a space that we are not an expert in. We feel expert in the particular area we've been teaching in for a long time, but not in this new area. You know, who am I to do this? And yet it's burning on your heart and it's there and it needs to come forward. It's time to find what that secret ingredient is that's deep within you, that actually if you bring into your messaging, you are going to resonate so much stronger with the people that need to hear it. Those people that are meant to work with you, who I like to call your soul aligned clients. And when we lack the clarity, we're not quite sure what it is. And I'm going to just give a little clue here. You do know what it is. You just need sometimes the prompting to bring that out. And this is one of the first things that I dive into with my clients, because they're often hiding something so rich within themselves. And I have my process, my brand Epics process, that allows those conversations to flow, allows that articulation, both through my own channeling, but also through their realization of breakthroughs, that there's something sometimes they feel shame about that is hiding. And actually that little thing that they feel some shame about, and I'm not always talking about deep shame, I'm talking about something that they just don't want to share. They feel too vulnerable about it. When this actually comes up to the surface, it has the power to completely transform your energy, transform your signature program and offers, and transform your messaging and how you show up. It actually transforms your visibility and the clients that you call in. When I worked with an extremely gifted career coach recently, we found that there was a part of her story that she tended to keep hidden. She actually felt some shame over it because she had this misconception that her clients were actually more advanced than her in this particular area. They had a certain experience that she didn't. And so she had a story playing within her that said, who am I to show up in this way, to teach these things, if I haven't got this specific thing in my armory? And the interesting thing was she was already teaching these elements and yet couldn't see how they all made a cohesive business for her, what her overarching umbrella messaging was, that she could essentially deliver all the things that she was passionate about in a way that made sense, primarily to her, but also critically to those people that found her brand, that saw her messaging, that they could come into her brand and see the different offers all made sense, and that they could travel through those offers, that there was a sense of architecture and hierarchy. They could follow her programs and stay with her, become repeat clients. But the interesting thing was, when we uncovered this, we reframed it, I completely rearticulated it in a way that tears came out of her eyes. She just was like, oh, the penny dropped. I was so humbled. It was a beautiful moment, and it reminds me why I do what I do. And I know that as a coach, you have those moments and you know what I'm talking about. And we realized that not only was this misconception in her mind not something to be shamed about, but was her superpower. This exact thing, when we reframed it and we articulated the messaging behind it, created a story that allowed her to expand her offers, to create that six-figure offer that she had on her heart, but didn't feel that she had license or permission to create, because she didn't understand that her messaging actually powered what she wanted to do next with her business. That was her superpower. And it was delightful to see that as a result of that breakthrough and the work that we went on to do, she was able to create that next level offer and to start moving her business forward and moving out of what she had described as a 6-month plateau where she just didn't feel that energy. She felt that disconnection from her business that I described earlier. And so what I'd like to say to you is, what is going on behind the polished look that you might currently have, or the offers that you've been putting out for the last few months, 6 months, a year? What is it behind that you're actually ready for, but afraid to up level and elevate? You're hearing that word, who am I to do this? I haven't got that experience. Who am I to bring this when others have done more? You know, that comparisonitis piece. For me, going back, a while now, it was when I made the pivot from business coach generalist into someone that brings a lot of energetics and this idea of soul into their business, and importantly into my messaging. I know that I kept that on my heart for a really long time and didn't speak it, I didn't share it, and I didn't teach it. And then it started to leak in. I found myself in front of clients and talking about these aspects that I share so openly now on Goals with Soul with you. I talk about the energetics of business and how leaning into soulful marketing is actually the route for aligned and soulful coaches to create that attraction marketing and create that resonance with our soul aligned clients. This was a way of speaking, a messaging that I kept hidden for a really long time. And even though I had qualified as a pranic healer and a breathwork facilitator, I just didn't see that I was good enough for the longest time. And I think when it finally dropped, that if I didn't bring this into my business, I was going to stay stagnated. I was going to stay in burnout. I was going to stay uninspired by what I was doing. And knowing that, having left 20 odd years in corporate, not loving what I was doing, not feeling deeply aligned, that this couldn't go on a minute longer. And that's when I created my manifesto to manifest what I wanted in my business. And a lot of that manifesto was about speaking things I gave myself permission to do. And I want to encourage you to do the same now. I want you to know that whatever it is that's on your heart, it is your opportunity to shine, to bring that into your business. Whether you have been in business for 6 months or 6 years, we are always evolving. And we always have the opportunity to bring new aspects of ourselves into business and to see the energy shift and the clients resonate and the sales increase and all the things that happen when our messaging is sound. Our messaging is aligned and it's authentic and it's unique to us. And if this is something that you're thinking, you know what, it's time to do that, I would invite you to get a free messaging assessment with me. All you have to do is fill in a form, and I'm going to put the link in the show notes, and I will personally get back to you and highlight, illuminate those messaging gaps and the ones that I can see through a lens of experience in marketing and also through a lens of channeling that soul messaging, which is becoming my specialty and something that I just adore doing. And I would love to look at your messaging. So I have a number of spots each week that I open up to explore messaging for people in this way. So please do jump into the show notes, click on the link and apply for your free messaging assessment. And so I hope that you are stepping forward into being your true self, that 2023 will bring more of you into your business. I am here, as always, to give you tips and advice in this direction. And here's to your inspired action this week. Take care now. Bye.